As a young adult, I used to suffer from total body pain and stiffness. Yes, you've heard it, total body pain and stiffness. And for many years, and I'm counting decades, there was not a joint that it was spare. There was not a single joint that did not have pain. And I was wondering to myself why I was not healing despite all the treatment that I was putting into my body. So can you relate? Until one day, something came into my thought and told me to look into my thoughts. And I was like, what the heck? What does the thought have to do with my inability to heal, or let alone my total body pain? But I didn't have anything to lose. So yes, I did that. I looked into my thoughts. And to my surprise, I discovered that most of my thoughts were negative. Therefore, I worked to transform my negative thoughts into positive ones. And fast forward, that was the reason I was not healing. And that's when my body began to heal. Symptom by symptom, complaint by complaint was beginning to melt away from my body. So come inside this video and I will explain the connection. I'm going to include newest medical research that explore that mind and body connection. I also gonna briefly outline what I did to transform my negative thoughts into positive one, allowing me to heal. So come on in. Hi, my name is Lilly Lei and I am a physician with background on both medicine, the Eastern and the Western. But most importantly, I'm a person who was very sick in my early part of the life, and I recovered without medicine. I'm no longer practicing Western medicine, but I'm teaching my clients how to heal without medicine. Have you ever counted how many thoughts you have in a day? Well, I have done it, and also in my group of mindful meditation, I have asked my students to count them. And we have come up with a median of 7 to 10 thoughts per minute. If you sleep 6 hours a day, come down to 10,800 thoughts a day. Now the question is, do you know from those 10,000 and plus thoughts a day, how many of them are negative? In an average population, 85% were negative thoughts. I remember my thoughts when I had a flare-up of pain. I would just go and put my hands on my head and say, oh my God, not again. Why me? What have I done? Why my body hates me so much? And if I would go for a treatment again, I will always think that that treatment will not work because many of those past treatments have not worked either. And then my mind will go racing to the future as if I knew what will happen to me, thinking that I have something incurable and therefore be disabled physically and missed out in life, miss out on social status, on friends, on money. Now I'm asking you, can you hear what kind of emotion am I expressing with those words? Yes, fear and anxiety. I had the victim mentality. Other people may not be so expressive in words. They may not realize that they have these thoughts, but their body does not lie. Their body will just expresses with mysterious rashes, digestive problem, intolerance to food, constipation, high blood pressure, depression, anxiety, waking up frequently, or you going to the bathroom also constantly. For each of these thoughts, your body will squeeze a little bit of adrenaline into your body. So let's make the math. From the 10,800 thoughts that we counted, the 85% is 9,000 negative thoughts. So imagine 9,000 squeezes of adrenaline per day. Imagine doing that for 40, 50, 60, or 70 years. Why will you do that? Because negative thinking is habitual. It begins in early childhood because we get traumatized. It just becomes repetitive. It's a survival mechanism. That's why it becomes habitual if you don't fix it, if you're not aware of that. Multiply for 365 days. And for those 50 years because it's half of your life. So in total, you're going to have an average of close to 16.5 million exquisites of adrenaline, and therefore also the cortisol. These are all stress hormones, and they are cell killer. So you are bathing over your span of your life with a poison, internal poison in your life. It's not a poison that comes from outside, it comes from inside, and you have created that. As a result of that exposure, your body suffers. And look at these two studies I'm going to present. One is published by the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, and in this group by Merchant and Howard, done in 2015, they have found a connection between negative thoughts and people suffering from Alzheimer's disease. Authors argue that the repetitive negative thinking, it stops or paralyzes your brain from further thinking. So therefore you're not using your brain to think, because every time you have a negative thought, it blocks your brain from fear. Even when there's no real threat, it paralyzes your body and your brain. When you don't use it, you lose it. And imagine being paralyzed for at least 50 years. No wonder your body sort of start breaking down. And at the same time, people with Alzheimer's disease also suffer from chronic diseases like chronic pain, chronic arthritis, low back pain, cardiovascular diseases, asthma, anxiety, and depression. Second studies done in the Czech Republic, they studied a sample of 1,000 people, and they have found a correlation of feeling of guilt, not of shame. Behind each emotion, there's a negative thought related to all these chronic conditions: low back pain, cardiovascular disease, asthma, depression. I'm leaving the link of these two studies in the description box below for you to review. And that is what was happening to me. At each of my negative thoughts, I was tensing my muscles, blocking the blood flow to each of my joint, and that will cause inflammation. And that's why I was so tight, particularly on my neck. I remember driving in order to see whether a car was coming on the right lane. I would just turn my entire body because my neck was so stiff. Have you seen your 80-year-old grandparent doing that? Well, I was an old person in my 30s, and definitely my brain was affected. I was forgetful, my mind was always dispersed, and I felt dumb. I was not healing despite all the treatment I subjected myself. The moment I began working on my thoughts, that's when I began healing. That's when each of my 20 and plus symptoms I had in my body began melting away. And all the treatments began working on me, accelerating my healing. So therefore, negative thoughts delay healing. And look at me now, how flexible I am. And I feel happy because I'm making smart decisions. So how do you stop negative thoughts? And most importantly, how do you transform them? I'm going to just present you a very brief outline. These are the steps. First, awareness. That's the number one key to start healing. And I hope with this video I have opened the eyes for you. Number two, you got to validate what I have told you. You have to count your thoughts and see whether you have negative thoughts. 3, isolate each one of those thoughts. Once you isolate the thought, number 4, there are 2 main questions you should ask when you have identified that thought. And I leave that for the next video. And number 5, then that's when you begin rewiring your brain. If you want me to go deeper, please comment in the box below so I can make a video for you. If you wish me to do that, please comment in the box below. Working on your negative thoughts that not yield results overnight. You got to put effort, intention, consistency, be persistent. Also, keeping a healthy body, like avoiding alcohol, smoking, and other drugs, and avoiding refined sugars and carbs, it will speed up your healing. You may see changes faster in a matter of months. In the meantime, if you feel anxious while working on those negative thoughts, watch my next video. And thanks for watching.